Oops. Hey, can you take it back again?
I took the screen.
Okay.
So I'll give it to you in just a bit, okay?
All right.
All right. So I think we're live. So hey, everybody. I'm Ben Gromyko from InterNACHI, and you are registered for a webinar called Rural and Mountain Home Inspection with Tyler Shull. Tyler is an InterNACHI member. He's an InterNACHI certified professional inspector, and he's doing a presentation for us today about a particular type of home inspection that he's familiar with. Way out in the sticks or in the fields, up in the mountains. These are not your normal everyday home inspection in the suburbs or in the city. So a lot of us are in Colorado. There's over 1,000 inspectors in Colorado, and many of us are in the mountains. And so we have to learn how to inspect a certain type of home. A lot of homes in the mountains and in the farmlands, they have their own systems, solar systems. Some of them are off-grid, a lot of private wells, and the structures could be a little bit different too, especially in the mountains. You got heavy snow loads in cold climates and things like that. So Tyler's going to share a little bit about that. So thanks for attending the webinar. We do free live interactive webinars. So that means you could chat a question if you'd like. So if you're live and attending right now, we can't see you, we can't hear you, but you could chat a question if you like in that little chat bar there, and we can answer the questions. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we have many other InterNACHI webinars recorded as well. We record every webinar and put it up on our YouTube channels. So thanks for attending and thanks for watching. And Tyler, thanks for doing a presentation with us. So you can take it away if you'd like and share your screen.
I'm looking for the screen share. All I've got is the slideshow, Ben.
Oh, you've got to go probably minimize your slideshow and find that webinar screen with the green share button again.
It's not popping up. All I've got is my. Yeah, as far as Zoom, I'm back to a beginning Zoom screen, the attendee.
So let's see. Do you see yourself when you talk? And do you see little tools at the bottom? It should say a green button with a green arrow.
No, not at all. Not at all. I can click to join again is about where I'm at.
It's probably somewhere, but hidden behind one of the windows that you have. Did you minimize something? Maybe something's down at the bottom, minimized. You got to bring it back up.
There you are. Okay. Share. Got it.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Rural private home inspection process. Basically, it's the it's your typical home inspection, and then along with your home inspection, one of the things that I do right from the very beginning, when I first pull up to the home, you know, simultaneously with meeting the client and the realtor, if they're there, or sometimes, you know, out-of-state buyer, a lot of times the agent will be present, or sometimes these are completely inspector only, but a lot of time the buyer agent is there. When I'm very first there, one of the very first things that we're going to do in a rural home inspection is we're also conducting a private well 2-hour flow rate testing with that. So with that, here's basically what a 2-hour flow rate test is. It's actually running the well for a 2-hour period of time to determine what the gallons per minute are and what the pressure is for a 2-hour period. In a private home, in a private rural setting, that water system and the septic system, which we'll be touching on, is exclusive to that home only. It's not on a municipal system with numerous other houses or a city. It's its own. It's its own system.
And Tyler, what would you say the number of, like, is there a percentage, like, are most mountain homes that you inspect on a private well? Oh, and also, can you click the from beginning button so we can see your big slides? Yeah, perfect. So how many, on what percentage of mountain homes do you think you inspect are on private wells?
The mountain homes, when even if you have a municipal address with the zip code, you're going to be in a rural setting with your own well. So when you get outside of the town, probably 60% of the homes in like any given county in the mountain regions or the rural regions of Colorado are going to be on their own system.
Yeah.
Well and septic.
Cool.
And then with the 2-hour flow rate test, you're basically you're wanting to pump that water, that well dry down and see what it actually recovers to in any given amount of time. And the reason for doing this, what you're actually doing is determining, the buyer's determining if that home is going to be, if that water supply system is going to be adequate for that, for the buyer family coming into that home, so that they actually can make a good decision on whether or not they need to be purchasing that home, or if it's going to fit what their criteria is going to be. Here's the overall system on a private well. The pump is located, the steel casing. This is below that prior slide is below this. This is your well casing, a picture of your well casing that goes down to the well water. At the bottom of this steel casing is your submersible pump. There's an electrical box right here on the side. That powers the submersible pump. This photo.
Pop that lid? Do you pop that lid when you're doing a home inspection?
No, we do not. That's the well cap. It's that cap is designed to keep out the bacteria, keep out dirt, keep out debris, to keep everything below safe. It's also the cover. It's also right under that is electrical wire, everything for the well. The only time that you need to take that cap off is for disinfectant or repair.
We used to pop that off. They were always rusted too. And because sometimes on the underside, the well driller will actually write the date and the depth and maybe something else. We were always surprised to see that. And sometimes that thing is cracked and busted and not even there. And so that's a nice defect to find, the well cap.
Correct. Yeah, and sometimes you have to really, it's a challenge sometimes to actually find them. This one was actually pretty easy. And this prior slide we're showing, this one is on new build construction home. This one right here, one of the main reasons for this photo was just to show how easy this would be to damage. A lot of times I've seen these rural homes, a lot of time the homeowners will plow the snow in the driveways, and these will get buried just from ATV traffic. Just snow removal will actually bury in these, and also causing bacteria issues under the cap, just because it gets buried, or weeds, tumbleweeds, everything. So sometimes they're just extremely hard to locate. I found them in pits with empty gallon jugs or weed killer around them and everything else, and tumbleweeds and pop cans, beer cans. Inside the house, typically is your pressure tank. Back to this slide, the whole system and the pressure tank is here. The submersible well draws water up, electrical pump, electrical switch. Here's your on-off switch. This we'll touch on in a later slide, but it's a pump saver. Some houses or some homes, some properties are equipped with a pump saver switch. For instance, if you're running water for a long period of time, it's specifically designed to shut off electronically so that it'll save your pump from burning up.
Hmm.
Yeah, this slide here is your on-off switch. On is the up position, down is the off position, and this box next to it is your pump saver switch. During an inspection, you know, we're looking for it to see if all the electrical connections are in place and properly functioning. We can test these. This is showing the pressure switch. If you'll think back to your muscle cars of the 70s, this really here is points, plugs and points. This is really points in layman terms. This photo is actually the insides of a pressure switch. It was missing the cover, so that went into the inspection report that it was missing its cover.
Are you looking at the low and the high?
Yes.
And what are you expecting? What are you thinking? Or are you just letting it run as is? And
you're asking about the gauge?
yeah, you're waiting for it to, when it goes down in pressure, that means the water is being drawn out of that big blue tank, and the
Yeah.
pressure goes down, and then
We're looking for the drawdown to see where that lands, and then when you can audibly hear when it comes back on, that really should be back between always 40 and 80 psi.
Cool.
The flow rate that we're looking for, typically over the 4 years that we've been conducting the inspections, when we're really making recommendations, you know, on that, you know, maybe the pump needs to be looked into, or the water needs to be really monitored, is when it's down to 2 and 3 gallons per minute, and it just doesn't really recover. Typically what we found over the years that we've been conducting these with the inspections is someplace anywhere between 4 gallons per minute and 12 gallons per minute has been the norm. Some of the acceptable rates here are for fire protection, you know, which your typical rural home isn't set for that, but we're finding between 4 and 12.
And when you run the well, what does the seller have concerns? Like, do you sign an agreement with the seller? Like, if I run the well dry and it doesn't recover, it's not my fault, or what?
Exactly. You know, the buyers that we work with, the buyers that any inspector will work with on a well testing, they want to know they want to know what they're purchasing. They want to know what's happening with the home that they're purchasing. So yes, there is an agreement with the seller, you know, that if the pump is going to run dry, you know, the buyer would want to know that. The buyer would want to know that it's doing that now, or it would be doing that in the very near future. So yes, there is an agreement signed with the sellers, with the seller agent, and with the seller, that, yeah, that, I mean, it's part, the buyer wants to know what's happening, and this is going to be part of the inspection process, and be totally upfront and transparent with what the process is. You know, that even if the home wasn't purchased, you know, just what it has to be put back to be functioning correctly.
Yep.
This is the well meter that we use. That's probably not a great picture of it, but there's a pressure gauge on it, and on the meter, it's 0 gallons to that specific meter. It's up to 12 gallon, and there's a silver indicator of what gallons per minute that it's monitoring at.
You put a picture like that in your report? Do you put pictures in your report? Like,
Yes.
well, yeah,
Yes, we do.
cool.
This picture was actually a video, but just continuing with the rural home inspection on its own private well. Outside, we got the well testing going.
Can you turn it up?
Oops.
Oh. Yeah, we need that sound high.
A little better. We got the well testing going. What you have here is a pressure tank. If you think back to high school, your water fountains operates on the same pressure principle. The submersible pump in the bottom of the well brings the water up electrically, pumps the water up, and it's monitored in your home by pressure, air pressure. This is actually like a bicycle pump, air fill gauge on the top. And that air pressure is actually what pumps the water, in this case, into the boiler and also into the plumbing supplies throughout the house that you see. The electrical on-off switch there is for the submersible pump to actually bring the water up to your house. And it's also monitored with a safety switch. If, for instance, you ever leave one of the faucets in the home or outside hose bib on too long, it'll automatically shut off to save the water and actually save the pump from burning up the pump.
Cool. Do you do a lot of videos for your home inspection clients?
Starting to, especially with the coronavirus right now. I did quite a few the last couple inspections we did, and then we'll definitely will when we get back out.
Yep.
This one was actually from that the wellhead picture. Had a rural mountain inspection in Florissant, Colorado. Got an incredible view. Now that's gonna be hard on everybody's eyes.
I don't know if we can hear it.
Anyway, with a mountain home inspection, we do a little bit more than just a home inspection, and this is why we're the company of choice up here, or anywhere in Colorado. That's a rural setting. Private well. Here's your wellhead. What I'm typically looking for is the hydrologic grade level.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being, this is your cap. You don't want dirt or foliage or anything else covering over that can lead to bacteria. That is a steel casing that goes right down to your water. It's at the bottom of this well, and it's powered by this electrical box and the submersible pump down at the bottom of the well. We have a well testing going for this inspection, and then also too what we do with the rural inspection that is on his own private septic system is a licensed, not National Association of Wastewater Technicians licensed septic system inspection. There wasn't too much to this one. It was a matter of just ensuring that everything was hooked up correctly. It's a brand new house. Everything's hooked up correctly, and normally probably with the right amount of water. What we have here is a solids tank.
It's sideways.
Camera air. Far away, PVC pipe sticking out of the ground is the very end of your septic system. There's a lot of things that we look for in a rural inspection, and again, we're your company of choice, Pine Breeze Inspection.
Cool. Barely could hear that one, but uh-oh. More video. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can hear this one.
So far, this flow rate testing, well water flow rate testing is going to be for a 2-hour period. I just started the test. And right now we're at about 6.5 gallons a minute. What we do is we'll monitor that over that 2-hour period while I'm doing a home inspection. We'll come back and check that quarterly to see where it's at over the 2-hour period, gallons per minute. And also we started out on the tank inside, I'll show you in a minute, at about 45 PSI. This one, yeah, just the private well system. When that this photo was taken after the well had actually ran dry, and you get a lot of sand and gravel, you know, and you shut that pump down. You shut the pump down and let the well recover. But that's actually what it brings up, and that's just a good photo of what actually happens before everything resets. And also if that the pump saver switch ever engages and does its job. It's something that the seller always wants to know, is just that everything's working. The water quality testing. Typically it's bacteria only, but then VA or FHA requirements is also nitrates, nitrites, and lead testing. That whole real estate package for our inspections that we've conducted on these, it's typically been for VA loans. When it's the whole real estate package consisting of the three things. Sometimes it's bacteria, nitrates, and nitrites, the two people want to know. Or then sometimes other people can ask what other testings that they want, the fluorides, the iron, the manganese, hard water. But typically for us, it's been the nitrates, nitrites, and the lead, or just mostly just the bacteria.
And what kits do you use? What service do you use, and where's your laboratory and all that stuff?
What we're using, and it's been a really good turnaround. Mostly we use it for the turnaround times is ProLabs.
ProLab, yep.
Has been they've been really successful with us. It's been working really good.
Yeah.
The lead testing, even once they get it, it's only been a 72-hour turnaround. Once it arrives to them, and then it arrives to them the next day. Disinfecting procedures on what you would find in when the lab results come back with the bacteria present in the water quality report. These are the methods for that you can give to the homeowners and the clients for how to disinfect the well. The chlorine shock treatment is over here on the left, and that involves removing the cap and the procedure of how many gallons per minute and how deep the well is for how much bleach that it's going to take for the proper disinfection of the well.
Now, when there isn't a UV light installed and you're inspecting a home, there isn't a UV light installed, do you recommend it?
We haven't.
That's the best kind of like solution to water quality from a private well, which inherently varies, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we used to, whenever we were inspecting a private well, if they didn't have a UV light, we just stuck it in there as a defect and a recommendation to install one. Because you could take a water sample, but who knows what it's going to be like next month, right? It could be bacteria in it.
Very good. Just one example of how to for hard water iron. I grew up on a horse and cattle ranch in Weld County, and we actually had one of these for iron. Had it in our basement.
Yep.
The septic system inspection. As the owner of Pine Breeze Home Inspections, I went through I went through the septic inspection, a absolutely fantastic course on InterNACHI's website, the septic. You know,
Cool.
and I constantly use the course material on the septic inspections. But what I was finding is that with the home inspection, different jurisdictions or different real estate agents having to work with different you know, the health department in different jurisdictions. They just simply weren't recognizing, you know, that it needed to be a licensed inspection. So we went the
Yeah.
extra mile to get the National Association of Wastewater Technicians licensed for these inspections. Per county, we you know, if need be, we turn in our documentation that that we can do these inspections to the area health departments, or there's a testing procedure which will undertake and be certified to do the inspections in whatever jurisdiction. Some of these, this is an overall septic system situation. We really just wanted to show in conjunction what it's actually supposed to be set up like. You know, for some obvious reasons, your wellhead and your well would want to be higher upland than your waste drains system, and typically it's either just higher up or it's on total, you know, 180 degrees opposite of where the wellhead is, the septic system is going to be, and it's going to be downhill for the way that it enters back into the groundwater. So when we come up onto a property, this is actually what we're looking for, more or less the lay of the land. That is actually within boundaries, within proper boundaries of the, you know, property boundaries actually even too, and then also in conjunction with if it's going to be safe. Septic tank lids are sometimes on older homes are extremely hard to find. I absolutely love when they look like this and you can find everything, because that's usually not the case. This was a nice simple one, and absolutely love the septic inspections when they're this simple. Your solids lid, gray water, 2 tanks, and your high water alarm system, a viewport for either a sewer scope inspection or also your septic contractor with a pumper truck. We use the viewport that you have here. A lot of times I was able to take a photo of this one, but most of the times they're farther down than this. And when this is the case, you know, we're not a septic contractor. We provide the septic inspections for the inspections. If we get into a case where we just plain can't find the lids, we'll use a sewer scope from a clean out inside the home to do a lateral line check, and also if we can see down into the first septic tank. When I've went through the national courses and the national trainings, that's exactly what the septic contractors are doing when they can't find the lids and need to make their recommendations on installing risers or upgrading making the systems up to date. Yeah, lateral line clean out. This is a good entry point. Go. Was I muted?
There you go. Now you're back on.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lateral line clean out on the way to a septic system. You can use it for a sewer scope, or also it's used by the septic contractors for the clean outs. Or this was a septic system installation, just showing how the leach field is installed after the gray water tank and how that works and how that leaches back into the groundwater. And that's what it looks, a properly functioning system. And the viewport, the vent. It started a drainage issue. So yeah, the water started to backflow on this inspection.
So the tank was filling up?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it was issues farther on down the line to the gray water tank that's farther out, and it was starting to back up out of the first tank.
Hmm.
And then this one is after the gray water tank, and the system's been compromised. Before this started rising, there was truck tracks over this, and my assumption would be that the line was compromised, and then before it could get out to the leaching field, the water just started rising.
Sure.
This is the differences in the pipes. The perforated pipe is in your leaching fields. The corrugated piping in a municipality home inspection or in a rural home inspection, the corrugated piping is typically in your French drains and your foundation drains and your downspout drain systems. The solid PVC piping is your waste drain from the basement or the mechanical room out to the septic system, or the crawl space out to the septic system. That's the last slide.
Oh, cool. So what do you charge for a mountain home? Is it a regular fee, or do you charge extra? Or for a rural home, are there any differences between your inspection fees?
We do. One of the things that we've streamlined our inspection company for is a rural home inspection. One of the things that we found is to try to make a little bit of a savings for the buyer, and it keeps us in work. It keeps us in inspection moving forward. But we offer a bundle package. It'll be the home inspection, and I'm familiar with what a septic contractor would charge and what a well company would charge for this very same inspection. And we offer a bundle package based on a same day inspection that will come off for these others ancillary services at the same time as the home inspection. Depending on complexity, I'll charge $200 to $250 for the well testing, and then depending on what water testing a buyer would want included, from bacteria all the way up to the real estate packages, anywhere from $120 to $250, depending on what water testing they want. And the septic inspections, I've seen septic inspection companies charge anywhere from $350, $400, $500, for what they do. And it's a simple inspection. Or, it can be very, very, very hard and difficult and time consuming sometimes. So that varies on the inspection, but anywhere from $200 to $250 on up.
Carl asks, where do you get the gauge and water meter set up?
That one I actually got on the Inspector Outlet's site.
So that's inspectoroutlet.com. Let's see. And you use ProLab for your water sampling.
Right.
Cool. All right, Tyler, that's all the questions that we've got, man. Thank you so much for doing a presentation with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we will be sure to put this webinar recording on YouTube, so y'all can watch it later if you like. So Tyler, thank you so much again, and stay safe and healthy out there.
Likewise, thank you.
All right, bye everybody. Thanks, Tyler.